Hello learner, my name is Lina Wesonga. Welcome to topic 3. Acquisition of institutional resources in managing curriculum and instruction. In topic 2, we looked at documents used in managing curriculum and instruction. By the end of this topic, you are expected to 1. Define the terms used in acquiring resources in managing curriculum and instruction. 2. Identify the types of training resources used in managing curriculum and instruction. 3. State the factors considered in sourcing for resources used in managing curriculum and instruction. 4. Describe the process used in sourcing training resources that are used in managing curriculum and instruction. 5. Identify the types of sourcing used in training resources in managing curriculum and instruction. And 6. Design a sourcing plan used in training resources used in managing curriculum and instruction. You'll also be required to carry out an activity at the end of the topic. We are going to define some of the terms that are used in acquisition of training resources. The terms include resources, training resources, and sourcing. What are resources? Good. What are training resources? Correct. What is sourcing? Well done. Let us now look at the correct definition of the terms. Resources refers to all the materials that are available in an environment which are technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally sustainable, and help us to satisfy our needs and wants. Training resources refers to different formats in which training can be delivered and the variety of materials needed to make this training possible. Sourcing. Sourcing is a process of finding, evaluating, and engaging suppliers based on set criteria to achieve cost savings and the best value for money. Let us now look at the types of training resources. Can you identify some of the training resources that you know? Very good. Some of the training resources include software, training videos, smart charts, handouts and manuals, textbooks, video recorders, procedure documents, training manuals, self-assessment forms, classroom, and labs. Having looked at the training resources, what do you think are some of the factors considered when sourcing for these training resources? Very good. The factors considered in sourcing the training resources include level of technology to be used, creativity and innovation, the cost of training resources, suitability of the training resources, the required knowledge and skills, the training needs of the learner, the learning styles of the learner, and the training activities to be involved. Let us now look at the process of sourcing for the training resources. What is the process followed when sourcing for these training resources? Well done. The process of sourcing for the training resources includes 1. Assess the needs of the company. You need to know the needs of each department. The second one, you need to research the market to know the potential suppliers or the service providers that you'll be able to choose from. 3. You need to develop a sourcing strategy whereby you'll decide where to buy the goods or services to minimize the costs. 4. You'll need to issue requests for quotation or requests for proposal. Here, you invite vendors to compete in the bidding process, where evaluation will be done based on the proposal submitted. 5. You select the supplier. Here, documents are evaluated to find out who matches the requirement. 6. Negotiation of terms with the selected supplier. And if they agree, a contract will be signed. And lastly, you need to analyze the results, where you check the performance of the supplier based on the materials or services rendered. We'll now look at the types of sourcing methods that can be used to source for these training resources. What are some of the methods that you know can be used in sourcing the training resources? Well done. The types of sourcing for training resources includes 1. Outsourcing. Here, you acquire training resources outside the institution. 2. We have insourcing. Here, the institution has the training resources at hand, and one department can provide to the other department. For example, Agriculture Department will provide milk for IM Department to carry out a practical. 3. We have near sourcing. Here, the institution conducts a reconnaissance of the area to find suitable suppliers of the needed material, then engages in contract negotiations. 4. Low-cost country sourcing. It is used to acquire material or service from within the country and at the lowest cost possible, and therefore promote local enterprise. 5. We have global sourcing. The institution can advertise goods and services in an international newspaper and invite potential suppliers from all over the world. Such works or services involve large sums of money and may be technical in nature. 6. Subcontracting arrangement. This is where the work or service is extensive and can be broken into subsections. The main contractor may choose to transfer some work or service to others. The subcontracting arrangement may be necessitated by the need to meet deadlines or specifications. And lastly, responsible sourcing. This is a method of acquiring training resources that pays attention to the environmental impact of its activities. So to be able to source for the training resources, you need to design a sourcing plan. What are some of the considerations to be followed when designing a sourcing plan? Very good. They include 1. Assess your current situation so that you are able to know what is needed by each department. You need to establish the learning objectives, after which you select your learning methods and resources. You will then draw your learning activities and schedule. And lastly, you will implement and monitor the learning outcomes. Let us now look at a sample sourcing plan. The sample sourcing plan will include the serial number. It has the description of the item to be bought. It has the date of request. That is the date when the request for the item to be bought was made. We have requested by, and this is the person that is making the request. We have the department, and this is the department that is making a request. We have the procurement method to be used, where you will indicate the method that has been used to procure that particular item. We have the action date, and this is the date when the item was ordered for. We have the date of delivery, and this is the date when the item was delivered. And lastly, we have the status, which may include whether the item was delivered, and if the item was not delivered, we'll indicate pending. So what have you learned today? Very good. In conclusion, we have covered the following. We've defined the terms used. We've looked at the types of training resources. We've looked at the factors considered in acquiring the training resources. The process of sourcing for the training resources. The types of sourcing used. And lastly, designing a sourcing plan. Having covered the above, you are expected to carry out the following activity. Visit a technical and vocational training institution in your area. Identify the various training resources needed for effective curriculum management, and develop a sourcing plan for the training resources identified. The next topic will be on curriculum implementation process. Thank you.